Contrary to what some people may say, you don't have to craft every little detail from scratch. And today I want to show you one of my favorite little cheats. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Black Magic Craft. I know it can be tempting to follow some sort of bizarre crafter's code to hand make and build everything from scratch, do everything out of a little piece of garbage and save it and repurpose it. Truthfully, that's not practical all the time, and honestly, I encourage you to cheat once in a while. If there are things that you can use that are affordable and in your hobby budget to make your life easier as a crafter and give you more time to do the portions of the hobbies that you like the most, I really encourage it. And that's something that I do myself and have been doing more and more as my time becomes more limited. Several months ago, I finally made the switch from only using paper minis in my games to using some 3D ones as well. And that has led me on a journey of learning to paint miniatures. I gotta be honest, it's probably some of the most fun I've had in this hobby in a while. I have learned to really love and appreciate the other side of the hobby, which is mini painting. I get a lot of satisfaction out of it, and it's a nice alternative to building and painting terrain because it's a very different mindset with a lot of different techniques, and I am really enjoying doing it. I'm at a point now where I think the minis I paint are of a very good tabletop quality. They are not award-winning display pieces, but I think they are far beyond an acceptable level of gameplay usage. I think they look pretty good. And because I've gotten to the point where I now put a lot of effort into painting a miniature, I want to make sure that it is based in a way that does the paint job and the sculpt justice. I take a lot of enjoyment out of putting effort into the bases. It's not really surprising considering it's essentially like a little bit of terrain on the mini. I like doing that. I personally really dislike the way it looks when a mini is just on a plain base. It looks unfinished to me, and I really dislike the look of not using an actual 1-inch base and just using this little whatever sculpted base comes with it. I don't like that. If you guys want to do that, that's cool, but it's not for me. For my game, my minis need to be on a nice, detailed, finished base. I've always admired the really cool, realistic looking static grass and terrain that professional mini painters and wargamers get on their minis. So it wasn't long before I wanted to bring that into my own miniature bases. Here's the thing, static grass is a pretty cheap product. I went out to my local game store and I bought a couple tubs of this static grass in the hopes of improving my mini bases. For static grass to really look right and achieve that realistic standing on end effect, you need a static grass applicator. Now, you can kind of get away with, on very small portions, just putting a dab of glue and putting in some static grass and blowing on it and hoping it kind of stands up. And I did that for a while and it worked okay, but it really wasn't as nice looking as I wanted it to be. In order to get that look, you need a static grass applicator, and there's a few different kinds. There's the wand variety and the flock boxes. They work great. I think they are too expensive and big of a purchase, especially just for minis. I mean, if you're doing a lot of really big diorama stuff, for sure, totally worthwhile, but if you are just wanting to put some grass tufts on minis, I don't think that's a cost that you should spend. I didn't want to spend that. This inevitably led me on a quest to find some pre-made static grass tufts. A lot of different companies make these, including some of the bigger hobby companies, but I needed to find something that, as a Canadian, I could pick up cheaply and easily on Amazon.ca, which is a challenge sometimes because we don't have the same amount of stuff available for a good price as the US counterpart. I was really happy to come across a company called WWS, which I think is War World Scenery or World War Scenery, War World Scenery. They sell these pre-made tufts that come in a little blister pack with 100 self-adhesive little tufts, and they are really cheap. On Amazon.ca, they're like $8 for a pack of 100 of them. On Amazon.com in the US, there was a bit of fluctuation on the price depending on the color, but they averaged out about $5 or $6 a pack. So in my opinion, that's a really good deal. They are manufactured in the UK, so how they manage to supply and ship them to Canadian customers through Amazon for a really good price with low shipping, I don't know, but I'm glad that they do. These things are really nice quality. They're great because you just peel them off the wax paper and you can stick them right down on your Mini. If you're concerned about the self-adhesive glue that they use not being strong enough, you can add some more PVA if you want, but it's really not necessary. Another neat thing is that the tufts are fairly large relative to a miniature, so I often find myself cutting them up into smaller pieces, sometimes splitting one in half and using it on two different minis or the front and the back of the same one. So you actually get more than 100 out of a pack. The downside to doing that is that the really stretchy self-adhesive glue that's used on them, when you cut them, sometimes gets a little bit screwed up. But again, that's where you can opt to use some PVA glue for gluing it down to the base. If I'm being totally honest, previously I had seen this type of product before, and I always thought it was a frivolous, unnecessary sort of thing. I thought it was getting too fancy for a game like D&D and was better suited for high-end wargaming or like dioramas or railroad stuff. But now that I'm painting minis that I put a lot of love and effort into, I want the whole thing to look good, and I think these really help me do that. These, in my opinion, are a must-have for miniatures. They're also useful for accenting terrain pieces, but I don't really think they're a must-have if that's all you wanted to use it for. Really, these are best suited for your nice looking minis. And even your not so nice looking minis, honestly, if you take a kind of mediocre paint job on a mini, maybe a pre-painted one, put it on a nice looking base, put some static grass on it, a few rocks, maybe a little skull, that mediocre mini is gonna at a glance look a lot cooler on your table. To make things easy for you guys, I will put some links in the description of this video to the 3 colors that I chose myself, but I will also put a link to the general search so you can see all of the other grass tufts that they sell, because there's a ton of different colors. There's ones that have like wood and rocks and flowers and whatnot. You can go pretty crazy on buying these. I'll also add links to these to my essential equipment store on blackmagiccraft.ca. That's the place where you can go and see all of the tools and supplies that I use and recommend, and you can help support the channel by purchasing through those Amazon affiliate links. I hope that you found this video useful. If you did, hit that like button. If there's another product or tool or whatever that you would like me to review, drop me a comment below, let me know what it is, and I'll see what I can do, because I definitely like to test things out for you guys to make sure you don't waste your hard-earned money on something crappy or unnecessary. So let me know, what are the products that you are on the fence about, maybe considering, but you'd like me to try first. If you would like to join the Blackmagic Craft Fellowship and help me achieve my goal of making this channel a long-term success, head on over to my Patreon. There you can support the channel financially, and I'm telling you, it helps in a huge way. It helps my family, it helps fund these videos and keep them regular, and most importantly, it is helping me slowly build towards my goal of making this channel a full-time effort so I can serve you guys and the community better and more often. If you are new to this channel, this is your first time here, I highly encourage you to hit that subscribe button. I've got tons of cool content that I'm sure you will find useful. And on that note, I've got a huge batch project that I've been working on for the past week that I need to get back to, because I want to show it to you guys next week in the next episode. So stay tuned for that. Cheers, guys. Hope you have a great weekend. Peace out.